taken place. Regional assemblies closing the anglophone trust gap. They have been there for 5 years. Elections have come and they are engaging another mandate.
You see, Mr. Leo, as far as I'm concerned, the legalities of the regional elections are there, but the legitimacy is not.
Yeah, we are not discussing about
legitimacy. I'm
yeah.
coming. The reason why I'm talking about legitimacy, we're talking about trust. For trust to be built in any community, there must be transparency, there must be truth, there must be honesty for you to be able to build trust. So you're talking about, has the creation of the regional councils and the election been able to close the gap of Southern Cameroonians now being able to trust the government? The issue at stake is, I was expecting that the government will be able to, first of all, organize municipal elections before regional elections. That simply means that the population would have been able to make the choices of their councillors, who in turn will vote their regional representatives. But the current councillors we have, their mandate has expired, which simply means by you putting them to vote the current regional councils that will be able to man affairs in the region for the next 5 years, you didn't consult the people that are supposed to give them the power. So the aspect of trust becomes a bone of contention, because at the end of the day, the person who voted the regional councillor in question, you are not the person who voted him. You didn't ask the person to talk on your behalf. So the trust issue is still pending, because at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, even within the, if you look at the context of the Southwest region, all the councils are CPD. You understand?
Same for the Northwest.
You understand? Then now, the results of the presidential election tells you, you understand, without mincing words, what the aspirations of the common man is. And so, I feel that it's been a political game for the regime in place to endeavor that, okay, they keep in perpetuity the people that they wanted, who do not resonate with the ambitions of the common man. Because you and I are very much aware, especially I that come from FACO division, that if you look at the tallies of the presidential election that was supposed to do, if that was supposed to serve as a follow-up of what the people want, most of the persons in FACO division voted for FSNC of Issa Chiroma Bakari, which simply means
after 1992.
You understand? After 1992, which simply means there is already a disconnect between the population and those that claim now they are representing the population. But the population would have been able to make a contrary decision as far as who is supposed to represent them concerning the regional elections. But as it goes without saying, we are talking about legalities, whereas legitimacy becomes a bone of contention.
It is true. You are raising these issues. You would have wanted or wished for the municipal and legislative elections to hold before this. But I'm talking about the fact that these guys have been there for the past 5 years. Yes, their existence. Can we say that we have seen at least some trust, some rapprochement between...
all right.
Yes.
In all fairness,
has anything changed?
In all fairness, nothing has changed.
Okay.
In fact, we have moved from an expectation to a no expectation at all, because when this special status was announced, and the way it was branded, and the way we were lectured on of the role of these regional councillors, especially the regional assembly, the way we were explained about the president of the regional assembly being the chief executive officer of the region, and that's why it's a special status, and that's why it's different from the regional council that you have from other areas. Now, we were told that the chief executive officer of this region is the president of the regional assembly, who also has powers in the economy, and also is the regional assembly will manage education, health. We're told. So we had expectation that, okay, which means that power was actually coming away from the senior divisional officer, from the governor, from the regional delegations of some ministries, back to the hands of their elected officials, who at the time have just been elected after the 2020 municipal election. We had high expectation that these men will actually see how they can negotiate the end to the crisis in the northwest and the southwest region, because for them to fully function and meet with their aspiration, they will need a peace and serene environment. They will need to move to the nooks and crannies to know the projects that need to be done and to come up with projects that need to be long-term, short-term, and of course a project that can be sponsored within a generational time. But the sad reality is that we have our councillors think about the next election than the next generation. And that is sad, because it's all about the next election. It's not all about the next generation. It's all about the next election. And when you think about the next election, you do not very or little or nothing for the next generation, because you want just the people who are around to vote for you. But the next generation are not the ones that will vote for you. The next generation are the ones that you are doing policies for. Now the issue is, why do people don't have trust? One, what have they done since they came to power after the municipal election, after they were voted in the last mandate? The last mandate, you ask 5 key, because normally in these circumstances, it is a common man in Bumaka that should be able to give us the balance sheet, because they are the ones whom these regional councillors are supposed to impact directly and indirectly. Because at this level, we need to see the president of the regional assembly or the regional assembly vote budgets that will actually take care of issues. Let me go one by one. Let's take the issue of the indiscriminate disposal of refuse in the northwest and southwest region. Have you gone to Limbe? You are from Limbe of recent.
We are now trending as call me dirty city.
Yes. So now let's say they'll tell you that, oh, there is a city mayor. There is a mayor, the mayor 1, mayor 2, mayor 3. What is the regional have they been doing? There was a time where the whole city, the whole town, Bomboya, Limbe, Bamenda, in fact the whole country, until we had programs here about the issue about the refuge, which became an issue until the prime minister called for a meeting to say, let's address this debt issue. Let's keep away that one. For the past mandate that ended till now, the people of Fako division are suffering from electricity. In fact, major neighborhood in Fako don't have electricity, not talk of Bamenda, not even talk of some Bamenda. In their last mandate, they are not members that work with NU, but they have the powers to see what can be done to make sure, because the economic activity is hampered, they will not have money for taxes. What have they been doing with their past mandate for this electricity? Key number 3, let us look at the farm to market roads. The farm to market roads from the northwest to the southwest region. Let me take you to Momo division. There is a place called Emwa, Nkun, Atong, Njikwa, Oshe. This area produces huge amount of cocoyams, Makabo cocoyams, that generate, it gets rot because they cannot be transported from where they are to the farms. Now these people who transport it to the farm and sell and generate revenue to pay taxes, but they cannot. Let me ask, those farm to market roads, shouldn't it be in their project of the regional councillors? What did they discuss in that regional assembly? Okay,
let's just assume that maybe their budget is not much, because we hear of 3 billion when we have councils that run budgets of to 5, 15 to 20 billion. But I want us to look at this trust issue.
Yes.
Now, special status is announced for the southwest and northwest regions. Regional assemblies are there. We have the House of Chiefs and all of they are there. And for trust to come, people need to really understand and see what you are doing. Do the people really know who the presidents of these regional assemblies are? Do they really know who represents the respective divisions? Do they really know what to expect from the regional assemblies? And if they don't know, who is to blame?
You see, Mr. Leo, first of all, we must establish it that the aspect of education, well, as far as I'm very much aware, some of the regional councils have taken over the various hospitals that are in our region. They are the chairpersons now of the various hospitals. Regional councillors are taking charge of that. I think as far as library education is concerned, they are also becoming chairpersons of various education facilities in the nation. And I can also remember, if there is any project I have seen that reminds me of the regional council, is the fact that I think some classrooms were constructed in Limbe, GBHS Moliwe, because you have it on the wall, constructed by the regional council. And also, since I'm coming from Limbe to Douala, I think before you get to the Mongo Bridge, I think those stores that are along the road there, it's indicated there that they are being constructed by the regional council. And the question you're asking is very pertinent. Do we know who is the president of the regional council in the Southwest region and Northwest? And who are they? What are they supposed to do? I can tell you, vividly speaking, that I know some regional councillors whom I've spoken with. I've even asked some of them, can you come on air on radio to be able to educate the public about what you're doing? And they tell me, no, I cannot come. And they have one complaint to give to another. Another aspect we have also noted from observation is that the president of the House of Chiefs lambasted on the media a couple of months back. I mean, that should be last year, if I'm not mistaken, saying that he just goes to work and he does not have a budget to be able to operate and function. And that is a great call for concern. And there are multiple issues which I must take from an observer's point of view, that trust is an issue, because the Southwest Chiefs, for instance, decided in their communique that His Excellency President Pobia was their candidate. Question: are chieftaincy's tools supposed to be politicized? And when I confronted a few of them who were in the council, I'm coming, Mr. Leo, they said, was
it from the Southwest Chiefs Conference?
Yes.
Or from, we are talking about the regional assembly.
Yeah, it's regional assembly. I'm talking about regional assembly.
But we should note that there is what they call the Northwest Funds Union, which is different from the House of Chiefs.
The House,
same for the Southwest.
Yes, the House of Chiefs is a subset of the regional house.
No, there is a difference.
There are two chambers.
The Southwest Conference that is different from,
which has a president.
Yes,
completely different from the House of Chiefs. Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is that decision was taken by them. And I remember asking one of the monarchs, how can you politicize the stool? He said, we were told to do it. And I'm like, okay, you were told to do it. We just had to do it. And my question is, if you were told to do it and you could not be able to say, no, I won't do it, then I can't be able to trust you to be able to represent me, because chieftaincy's tools and fundoms are supposed to be apolitical. I remember that was one of the advocacy of Honorable Joshua Osi for polling units to be taken away from chiefdoms, because at the end of the day, if you as a chief, you say you are publicly supporting a particular political party, it means when other political parties come within the chiefdom, you will not be able to give them the leverage to do what is required for political activity. So the issue of trust is very worrisome, because at the end of the day, you realize that most of these regional councillors that have been selected did not do primaries, because within the setting of the CPDM, you don't go for a local popularity contest wherein the people give you the choice that you're going to represent them. They operate with the aspect of investiture. And when you operate with the model of investiture, at the end of the day, it is Yawone that decides who becomes a regional councillor, or some individual big guns who are the elites of the region who becomes a regional councillor. And at the end of the day, the common man's interest is not respected.
But even if you were selected through investiture, whatever the means, what stops you as the regional executive to go down to Kumba, to go down to Mamfe, to go down to Eyumojo, to tell the people that we are the members of your regional assembly? This is what you should expect from us. This may be your expectations, but this is what has been allocated to us. We are talking about trust.
Yes.
Now, how do people trust when they don't even know who is representing them and what is expected of them?
Let me just come in there. The thing is, it is very difficult in Cameroon. It's becoming a culture where if members are elected in an office, a public office, they see going to the field to talk to the people like a taboo. The worst is even having the media like a taboo. They will hide behind the fact that no, there's a crisis. Let's keep away the crisis. There are other means of getting to these people. If you invite them, they will not come. For the past 5 years, the last mandate, how many of these regional councillors have you seen them in an exclusive interview to actually give an account, to actually educate the people? But okay, this is our role. We did this, we did that, we did that. How many? The best they can do is during an event, they just got 2-minute except interview. No, we had a meeting, the meeting went well, we want to thank you people. No, the head of state, they did a project, that's all. But like you asked, how does the man in Munya know that this is my regional council president? This is his role. This is what he has to do for me. This is how I can hold him accountable. Like you talk about the fact of trust. Trust comes with accountability. And also you cannot hold somebody accountable when you don't know what that person is supposed to do to you. If not, how will you hold them accountable? That is why during campaigns, you tell us what you will do, so that if you go there, you don't do, we will not hold you accountable. How does the man in Moyuka know what the regional assembly is doing? When that same regional assembly just nicodemously do communication to do their activities, because it's not effectively visible. How should that be? Town halls are not done. Visiting of markets are not done. Meetings are not called to say, okay, we have visited this community. This is what we are supposed to do. This is a liaison person in this area. If you have this challenge, this is it. How do we carry out this activity? A case in hand. Let me just explain why the people don't even know, to confirm that the people don't even know that a case in hand was the chieftaincy crisis in Miami. The people in Miami marched back to the governor's office. Whereas in context, the office that they ought to have marched first to go and complain is the regional assemblies president. Who now would have taken the matter to the House of Chiefs.
No, but the House of Chiefs, they have a president. Why don't watch to the
No, I'm not saying I'm just saying that since he's the boss of the region, they say the chief executive officer of the region, and they should even have gone to him. Then now he called, because the House of Chiefs, the president of the House of Chiefs is also a vice president in the regional assembly. To say, okay, let's discuss this. But they went directly to the governor's office to tell Papa Governor that this is a crisis that we have. That's to tell that they don't even recognize that there's even, how, then why is even the trust? That's to show that they don't even trust. These people have not built the trust. They have not reduced the gap of trust. Because if they have reduced the gap of trust, the peace-loving people of Miami will not have had this problem and moved back to Papa Governor. Another issue is when the people of Bomaka, Munya, and the rest went and met with Papa Dio because of electricity. Dio of Boya is not in charge of electricity. Now, if you have that challenge, there's a regional assembly. You have those councillors who manage the economic activity, because without you doing business, they will not be able to pay taxes. They will not have the budget that they need. The council will not defend the budget. Instead of moving to these people, they move to administrative office. That means that they recognize that this office does not.
Yeah, because why I'm discussing this is that, okay, we said that there was so much centralization of power in Yaoundé. The move of coming up with these regional assemblies has to do with bringing the decentralization process to the completion point, and then moving administration and almost everything
closer to the
people. Now, you people are existing in the northwest and southwest regions. Do we have the feeling that people really understand that they now have more people around them than always thinking that solutions have to come to from Yaoundé, or if we have a problem, we are looking up to Yaoundé? Because what then is your use?
Yes, Mr. Leo, when you look at the 2019 law of regional and local collectivities, it's a very fine document. And the truth of the matter is, it's not just about the laws, it's about implementation. I remember when I had the divisional delegate from Indevel at the level of one of my programs, Nation Building in Limbe, to be able to explain a couple of issues that has to do with the day-to-day work of the Ministry of Decentralization. One of the things I noted is that you will realize within the structures that have been put in place by that law, the regional councillors have little to do on a day-to-day basis with the common man. It has to do with the what you call the councillors of the various municipal councillors. Those are the people that have responsibilities for the day-to-day activities of the operations of the various councils. And another issue again is that within that framework of that same law, we may be calling them regional councillors, you understand? But these regional councillors don't have authority over city councillors. They don't have authority over municipal councillors. You understand? Because they are all equal. So you realize that the ambiguity in terms of responsibility is even troubling. We must remind ourselves that the aspect of city councils and the office of government delegate was created earlier on as the evolution of the multipartyism in this country came as a result of having most of the major cities in the nation taken over by opposition parties, and government had to be able to create the position of a government delegate. And you realize that as time went on, most city mayors are having problems with local mayors because there is no fine line separating part of their powers and the things that they are supposed to do at the end of the day. So when we are trying to say the common man should be able to have a day-to-day interaction with the local, with the regional councillors, it becomes very difficult because their work and operation cannot permit them to get that done. And so I really feel that the people with whom the common man should be interacting with on a daily basis are supposed to be the municipal councillors. But at the end of the day, again, Mr. Liu, you will come to discover that even the municipal councillors don't have a mastery of the 2019 law of regional and local collectivities. You understand? They don't read it, because I remember when I'm doing some of my programs in Limbe, and I call to question some of the responsibilities of the people they call board members of councils and what they are supposed to be doing. Some of them are not even aware of their responsibilities. And at the end of the day, we continue to have this disparity in terms of the mistrust in what they are supposed to do. It is very true, government has put in place laws. Yes, some powers have been divulged to local collectivities. Maybe since this is you've just had but one mandate of the regional council. We are hoping that as the time begins to evolve, the various stakeholders will be able to have an understanding of what is expected of them within the framework of the special status that has been granted to the Northwest and Southwest region, and that at the end of the day, we'll be able to see power really getting to the people that matter. But what I will need to tell you, Mr. Liu, is that until we start electing governors, the impact of the regional councils will never be felt.
Okay, will never be felt. But we now have the House of Chiefs. So much hope, because almost every day, many persons spoke with a lot of nostalgia that in those days we had the House of Chiefs, we had this, but the chiefs are there, closer to the people. Do the people, yes, has anything actually changed with the coming of the House of Chiefs?
Mr. I will be very honest with you that they ought to have just allowed the Northwest Chief Conference and the Southwest Chief Conference to stay, because practically, there seems to be no difference between the Northwest Chief Conference and the Northwest House of Chiefs, the Southwest Chief Conference and the Southwest House of Chiefs. Let me give you practical examples. We have seen the case of Miami again is another one in hand. Now, this is an issue of chieftaincy crisis in a region which has House of Chiefs, and these chiefs, by virtue of their power conferred to them by the constitution based on special status, they ought to look into this matter first and try to resolve them. But what happened? The administrative power is where the people go and cry to. That is, you leave the president of the House of Chiefs. You leave the president of the House of Chiefs. You go and cry to the governor. It comes to the issue of trust. It comes also with the issue of powers.
Which big action have we seen from either the regional assemblies or the House of Chiefs, which actually proves that we are now here? Bring your matters to us. You can trust us. There is no need for you to look up to Yaoundé. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying that we have not had any since the first mandate finished to this mandate. When we're doing the special coverage for the election day on the regional assembly, the chiefs in Bamenda who spoke to our correspondent said, well, last mandate we did not actually master a lot of the technicalities of what is expected, we believe that this mandate will do better. Now let's hope that they will do better, because we saw what happened in the recent. Let me take the Northwest. When the phone of Bambalan was kidnapped, he spent 1 year plus in captivity. What did the House of Chiefs of the Northwest region do at the time when their president was under captivity? No, I'm talking about a communique, a communique to denounce this, to call for the. What did they do? It is in anybody who has seen any of those communications, tell me, because I was keenly monitoring that, and I kept on asking questions on the media. That what is the House of Chiefs doing? We have the issue of land crisis.
They were waiting for instructions.
We are because it's the House of Chiefs. Their boss of their region or their house is kidnapped. Or the House of Chiefs, the former Baba and from Kive was kidnapped. He spent more than 1 year. It was only when he was rescued / whatever, or you can release or whatever. Then we now had a communique to express that the fund has been released. Now let us look at the numerous crises in the different condoms that are occurring in the Northwest region. Tell me, have you had one solved by that? Now, the issue is the House of Chiefs. Like Mr. Njume would say, I was said a while ago that in as much as I am blaming them for not actively taking an engagement, there is also a political hidden hand in this issue. But because they will come and tell us that their hands are tied, but I believe that it is also a person in that thing, in that position, and not just the position. For example, there are people in this PR's government. There are ministers who were in particular position, you did not hear of them. See, they were sent to a particular ministry. But there are other ministers who came, you doubt whether it is still that same ministry. But they are active in that ministry. They have taken full charge. They are actually carrying out their job. And people you'll be asking, but why is this man overdoing? Okay. But when you look at the job description, it's different.
So in the Northwest and Southwest regions, we have the House of Divisional Representatives and the House of Chiefs, which make up the Regional Assembly. The main duties are development and planning, draw up and implement regional development plans. These are things that should be made public for people to understand. Manage regional budgets and public investment projects, promote economic development, agriculture, tourism, and local industries. And then oversee regional roads, water supply projects, rural electrification, and community development. Manage certain secondary education services, infrastructure maintenance, school support. Support cultural, sports, and youth programs. And promote participatory development involving local councils, traditional rulers, and civil society. Ensure coordination between councils and central government, and monitor the implementation of decentralization in the region. And then we have protection of cultural identity, which is the special status. Safeguard and promote the Anglo-Saxon heritage and systems in education, judicial traditions, local governance. And then house of duties of the House of Chiefs. They play they have an advisory role in regional governance. Give opinions and advice on matters related to tradition, land, customary law, and chieftaincy affairs. Make recommendations to the Regional Assembly on cultural and community issues. Preservation of culture. They are expected to safeguard and promote traditional institutions, customary values, and community heritage, help maintain peace and social cohesion through traditional authority. They are also supposed to mediate local disputes using customary mechanisms, support reconciliation at the community level. Okay, so these are what is expected from our regional assemblies, are made up of the divisional divisional house of representatives and the House of Chiefs.
House of Chiefs.
Yes, but these are what they are supposed to be doing. Do we see them actually doing it? And if they are not doing it, do they really know what is expected of them, or they just want to get into some positions?
Now, let me tell you, Mr. Leo, I had an experience earlier this year, a couple of months ago. I got a report that the regional council was supposed to do a road in Akwaya, and the money entered answering machine. And what I mean by answering machine is that the the road was not done and the money was nowhere to be found. You know that I called a representative of that division, who is a regional councillor. Sir, please, can I get clarification about this particular road? You know, he told me he doesn't have any idea. Let me call the mayor of the area, of the locality. I went ahead and called another regional councillor who is not from that division. Please, can you give me facts on this matter? He did not even respond. That is to simply tell you that the people and the mandate that just ended are not willing to communicate effectively. And I also want to think that maybe we of the press have not been able to force them to communicate, because at the end of the day, we are supposed to serve as a bridge between the regional council and the population in being able to report most of the activities that they carry on. And the question that is begging for answers is how many of them are willing and have been able to approach the various media outlets to be able to report their activities. As I told you earlier, I've been able to see a classrooms being constructed. I've been able to see stalls at the market. Those are the ones I saw because there was a label that they put there, constructed by the regional council. So there is, I think there is a vacuum of effective communication of what they must have been able to do. And since this was their maiden mandate, there was a necessity for an assimilation of what is expected of them, because like you talked about the heydays of the House of Chiefs. You and I are very much aware that in those heydays there was a lot of respect for our chiefs and funds. But you and I are very much aware of the practical reality.
Are political.
Are political, of course. But you and I are aware today that most of our chiefs have lost their respect because of their political affiliation in regards to the stool. We are very much also aware that some of them had to go on exile, I mean, become internal IDPs because of the fact that they couldn't resonate with the aspirations of the population which they are called to lead as traditional authorities. So the question of trust has to do with communication. Once you don't communicate, you give room for people to make assumptions. And so I think that those who are the regional authorities and councillors who are watching us right now will be able to maybe learn from their mistake, because per the job description that you're giving there, the common man out there does not have adequate information with regards to what they have been able to do so far. As far as I'm concerned, if there is any activity that I can vividly remember of the House of Chiefs, there are just two in number. The first one was the fact that the president of the House of Chiefs for the Southwest was able to write a letter to, addressing it to the senior divisional officer for FACO, telling him that he should not be able to address chiefs in that manner, and then to also tell you the regional president also wrote to the House of, the president of the House of Chiefs that you are not supposed to use letterhead. You get it? And then the other activity, which I think it is what is the advent of the promotion of the cultural festival, yes, which have been postponed to next year. And I'm just of the opinion that since most people are just trying to have an understanding of the various responsibilities assigned them, as time evolves, may be able to see them communicating more.
Okay, they will be able to communicate more. Now, when all you cite the construction of classrooms, and you said construction of
the stores.
I think when that is what you have to do, when MPs do the same, councils do the same, where do we really situate a regional assembly?
That is why I told you that the text that we have, the regional councillor is not senior to a municipal councillor. They are all equal in status. And that is a problem in terms of functionality of the 2019 law of regional and local collectivities. And like you mentioned, everybody is doing the same thing. So at the end of the day, who is supposed to be assigned to do what? You get it? So there is a need for some things to really be clarified in terms of work that is supposed to be done at the level of the municipal council, at the level of the city council, at the level of the regional council, so that this distinctive will be able to help the common man know where to pose a problem. Another challenge you mentioned earlier about the aspect of roads. You understand that are supposed to be done. Some people don't know which roads are done by the councils, which roads are done by the region. The challenge I had recently, which I've been asked a lot of questions, is, Javi, can you imagine how much money was raised by our elites in the North and South region for campaign?
Yeah.
And the state of our roads in the regions? So we prefer to raise money for campaign, and yet we can't have access to road, potable water. Another issue which has been very much troubling now is I've realized that to have pipe-borne water at home now is a challenge. What is raining now across the board is borehole. And that is an indication of a failed development process in meeting the social needs of the common man. And so I'm trying to simply say there is a need for a restructuring of the responsibilities that are supposed to be carried out at the level of the regions, at the level of the city councils, and at the level of the municipal council. At the end of the day, everybody should know what he or she is supposed to do.
No. I want us to look at the president. The president is the voice of the region. The president speaks on behalf of the region, relaying the needs, concerns, and aspirations of the population to central government. They play the key role in defending regional interests in national level discussions. Leader of local development, they oversee regional development projects, roads, basic infrastructure, local economy, symbol of decentralization, a bridge between traditional and modern governance, coordinator of peace and social cohesion. They are the voice of the region. Do we really hear them talk? Do we see them speak out when issues are not going well within our regions? Is it the fact that their voices are drowned by the powers of the governors, or they are unable to assert themselves because the text says they are the chief executive? That is the law.
Yes, Mr. Liu, before Jarvis comes in, you must realize that the way this nation operates, people pay allegiance to political authority than state authority. Because if you look at within the premise of the Southwest region, all of them are CPDM oriented. So at the end of the day, you will do what your party line is instead of operating within the framework of the state powers giving to you. Because you know, if you don't do what is expected, Yaoundé will give you a call. And like I told you earlier, the aspect of investiture has been able to really fragment many persons whom would have been willing to do the right thing. Because
we are talking about trust.
Yes.
How do you want people to trust when you are in a cocoon?
I think we last time, I'm sure there was a program we did where we talk about the fact that we asked the question, who is doing what, where, and how, the ambiguity, the cost of governance. Now, in this question, you asked first the question about the voice, the chief executive officer of the region. You read the duties or the job description of the president of the regional assembly. Let me go to the Northwest region, for example. We have been having a series of kidnappings of recent, killings of civilians by the armed separatist groups, and at the same time also some incidents that have occurred. In a normal situation, the president of the regional assembly will grant a press conference. In a normal situation, the president of the regional assembly will visit those involved. In a normal situation, the president of the regional assembly would have been in talks with the Archbishop Nkea Foyam to discuss the situation of the kidnapped priests and update the public as the chief executive officer of the region. In a normal situation, the president of the regional assembly, who was supposed to be the one, because he speaks on behalf of the region, not the governor. He speaks on behalf of the region. But let us be real.
No, but the governor has you don't say the governor does not have
no, I'm
the
not
right.
saying, I'm saying
he should act according to what the text says.
On behalf of the region, the text says he speaks on behalf, like he's a party power of the region. He's the symbol of unity, of decentralization.
He should do his job.
Yes, I'm just saying that he should do his job, but rather we don't see him doing the job. Now let us come to also another context here in terms of the what, based on what you read. The president of the regional assembly also have the the power to also see into it that the city is well structured, or those who are charged to do their jobs are actually doing the job. Let me give you an example, the construction of roads. Like Mr. Jume said, you have, let's take Limbe. You have Limbe 1, Limbe 2, Limbe 3. All these Limbe 1, Limbe 2, Limbe 3, they have their respective projects that they carry out. Now, as the boss of the regional assembly, you are supposed to know these projects which are being carried out. Let's say because it is also spelled out in what you read that he also has to carry out developmental projects. Now, he is supposed to at least give a taste of this road, communicate to the public that in so and so fiscal year, these are the projects that have been earmarked within the region. The Limbe 1 Council has so and so project, the budget is this. The Limbe 2 has so and so project, the budget is this. The Limbe 3 has so and so project, the budget is this. Mr. Jume, do you see that occurring in Limbe?
For where?
Let us now also come with some realities on this. The ambiguity. For example, like you talk about classroom. I'm happy Mr. Leo raised the issue. You talk about classroom. Let's say it's the classroom for primary school. You have basic education, Ministry of Basic Education. You also have housing and town planning. You have public works. You also have reconstruction. The committee of reconstruction, which reconstruct classrooms in the northwest and southwest region. You also have the mayors. You have the city mayor. You have the Ministry of Decentralization.
You have urban development.
You have urban development.
Okay, I want to read the text because I've written, somebody is writing that the presidents of regional assemblies, they are not the chief executive officers. So I want to read the general code of decentralized territorial collectivities, law number 2019/024 of 24 December 2019 says about the powers of the president of regional assembly in Cameroon. Here are the main powers as stated by the law. One says they are the chief executive officer of the region. The president is the executive head of the region. They implement decisions of the regional assembly and ensure the smooth functioning of regional institutions. Managers of the region's administration. The president directs the regional administration, supervises all regional services, oversees regional staff, and may appoint certain officials. Controller of the regional budget. The president is responsible for preparing the regional budget, executing the budget once adopted, managing regional finances and assets. Representative of the region in all acts. Legally, the president represents the region in civil life, signs contracts, agreements, and partnerships on behalf of the region, can appear in court on behalf of the regional institution, coordinator of the development. Okay, the president leads in planning and execution of development projects in infrastructure, transport, agriculture, tourism, local economic development, cultural promotion, enforcer of laws and regulations. The president ensures that national laws, government instructions, regional assembly resolutions are applied correctly within the region. These are all powers of the regional assembly. Are people aware of this?
As I said, even the councillors themselves, some of them don't have the 2019 law you are reading. They don't have it. I remember I had a situation in points at the level of my program in Limbe, where the creation of village and neighborhood committees, which is a requirement of the 2019 law of local and regional collectivities, people don't have it. And they're like, why did you get it? It is available on the president's website, prc.cm. You can search all the laws that the president has signed for the past number of years and be able to just download. But at the end of the day, Mr. Leo, many of us have not, many of our councillors or representatives, be they call them municipal councillors, call them regional councillors, have not been able to take out time to be able to read what the law has asked them to do. Let me give you a case in point. I had some municipal councillors on a radio panel on my program Nation Building in Limbe one day, and I asked one of them, do you know the nominal role of your council? He said, no, I don't know. He said, why? He said, I don't think it is. In fact, to him, He doesn't know that as a board member of the council, known as a municipal councillor, you are supposed to have the nominal role of your local council, but I can tell you many of them don't care. What simply happens, they are waiting for sessions to come, sit in session, in fact, do what we call adopted as presented, sign, collect their money, and go back home. They don't even go through to be able to read through the various budget. I can tell you the embarrassing situation some of them had for me in Limbe. Imagine Mr. Leo having in the budget head of the city council cutting down of a mature mango tree 2.4 million, and the councillors validated it. And when I brought it to their attention, they were asking me, wait, was it in the budget? I'm simply trying to say that many of these individuals who are either municipal councillors, regional councillors, don't want to read the law that empowers them. So at the end of the day, they can't be able to implement what they don't know. You and I are very much aware. The Bible says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. And when you have people who are ignorant of what the powers attributed to them are, they cannot be able to exert it. Like, you are just quoting now, somebody is telling you the regional president is not the chief executive of the region. It's because they know that as far as our government functioning is concerned, an apparatus, you understand, MINAP is the vertebral column, you understand, of all the functioning of the government. And so the governor represents MINAT, you understand, who is the representative of the head of state. And so at the end of the day, there is this confusion. And I said, as I mentioned earlier, until the person who sits, in fact, until we get a federated structure wherein the chief executive of the region is the representative of the head of state, we will continue to have all of these ambiguities and disparities, and people not knowing exactly where the lines are drawn between the powers of the governor and between the powers of the regional council president.
Yeah, but good evening, Mr. Leo. For this wonderful topic today, let the Regional Assembly of the Southwest publish the list of projects that were carried out last year in this region so that citizens of the various divisions can follow up if actually these projects were actually done. This is from Mr. Ebai, writing from Mile 14. Mile 14, don't know which Mile 14 is talking about. It could be in Boya. Yes, we are talking about trust here and accountability. If you have worked for the people with the minimal budget, isn't it just normal? We talk about balance sheet also. Yes.
Yeah, you know, the history of our nation and Africa, to be more precise, the issue about accountability seems to take a backstage. In Africa, it seems like this is becoming an African culture, because let me situate you to an interview I watched the president of the regional assembly conducted in Boya when he was complaining about the budget. He was complaining about chairs, that even chairs need to come from to equip, to buy. There was no money to even buy a normal issue, and there were complaints, and they actually made valid complaints. But the question is, like you said, accountability. If you have a little amount of money, let's say you're giving 3 billion, account for the 3 billion. The people should know that, okay, each year the people should know how many press conferences has that regional assembly carried out since their mandate started after 2020 and ended with this renewal. How many town halls have they said, okay, let us meet in Boya and in Kumba divisionally to say, okay, let us give an account and talk to the people. The people should ask questions, because this is a relatively new structure, and we know that gradually correction, mistakes, errors are being made. We know. We don't expect everything to just walk on in the go, bam. But also, we see it limping. We see it creeping and crawling. That ought to are taking steps, not creeping. Accountability is what is lacking, in all fairness. How many projects did they carry out last year or last mandate? How many were fully executed? How many were partially executed? How many were not executed? What were the reasons? They could have genuine reasons, that the people can help them to do these things done, to get these things done. Like Mr. Njuma raised earlier in his first intervention about the fact that it is even troubling to see that at this point in time, the people are not actually the ones in that position of saying that let us shape the structure by getting these persons in that position, because they are still basing their mind on members of parliament who are still or about to go, because municipal and legislative will be in 2026. But what is lacking is that these same people, I remember there was a time I wrote the president of the regional assembly countless time for an interview. Countless time. But I tell you, I sit there in Cameroon, I write to the US speaker, Mike Johnson. I receive reply within 48 hours. I receive concrete reply on my worries with details. Right to that regional assembly today, even call, they will not pick the call, except somebody in that inner circle know you and say that, okay, is this person that we know? But this is a public office that normally people will run to say, Papa, we have this problem, please can you help us? They will first they'll ask who gave you my number. You know, if I call Mr. Njume, he asks me who gave me his number, I will be very angry because he's a journalist. If he is someone whose job is not open fully to the public or on information gathering, then it's a problem. If I call a mayor and the mayor asks me who gave you my number, it's a slap. Because every municipal office must have a number that the people can reach to their mayor.
You're right.
Now, but the challenge is that accountability, you must not tell us how much money you actually is in your coffers. Tell us the project you did. Tell us the activities you carried out. Tell us the one that were successful and the one that were not successful and how we can help you. Sometimes the people can help you.
You see, Mr. Leo, let me come in a bit.
Okay.
I love this country because our laws are very good. But we have individuals who sit in positions of authority who don't want to implement them. Let me give you something about the 2019 law of local and regional collectivities. There is a clause that says every village or neighborhood must create a committee. Creation of village and neighborhood committee. What is the role of this village and neighborhood committee? Their role is to endeavor that every project that is carried out within their village or within their quarter is carried out according to specification. But you know what? Many mayors, as we speak, have refused to create those committees. At the level of Limbe, we have raised that concern multiple times. It falls like a death. In fact, you're throwing water on a deck's back for some of those people. You know why they don't want to do it? Because the law states when you create the village and neighborhood committee and those projects that are executed in those communities are not done according to specification, that committee has the obligation to report to the minister that this project was supposed to be done like this, it was not done. But check all our projects, look at the roads, look at the various buildings. Substandard materials are used. Roads that are carried out cannot be able to sell because
the regional assemblies did not exist 6 years ago. They have come now and they are supposed to supervise this project. Has anything changed at all?
No, the issue is that they have discussed, supposed to supervise. But as I tell you, you realize that each of them is independent. You can't impose sanctions on A on B because they, as a regional body, they have a structure. It's the same thing like, let me just use a case in point, the city councils and the local councils.
Remember,
the city council.
Remember, we have the House of Divisional Representatives,
yes.
Which means that delegates are voted from all the divisions, subdivisions. Which means that they are supposed to also make sure that supervise and monitor what is happening at their level.
Beautiful. That is what you will expect on a normal setting. But within the framework of the law, I can tell you that the regional council cannot say they are setting up a commission to go and investigate Limbe 1 council. Within the framework of the law, it is not tenable. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is, you're talking about accountability. If every village and every quarter had a neighborhood or village committee as required by the 2019 law of decentralization, it simply means, for instance, if the city council is doing a project in my quarter, that particular committee will be able to endeavor that the project is implemented according to specification. The same thing with the regional council, so that if it is not done according to specification, they can be able to report to to hierarchy. But at the end of the day, mayors are not willing to get these committees put in place because they know that if they put those committees in place, accountability will be ensured, and they don't want to be accountable. It's a choice that most of them have made.
Yeah, but you are talking about the committees.
Yes.
What is the role of representatives of the divisions? Because even at the level of the councils, where municipal councillors are voted from where? From quarters.
Yes.
What then is their role? Are the people even aware
of the municipal councillors?
Are the people of say Ngeme, do they know who is representing Ngeme in the council? Are the people from I don't know middle farms? Do they know the municipal councillor who represents them? And at the we are talking about regional assemblies. Do people in the respective villages and towns, do they know their respective representatives?
Mr. Aliu, you have raised a very important question, and this is like a tradition which goes now with elected position within the regional council or municipal. Let's go from the council itself, keep away the regional council. Let's take Limbe 1 council. Let me take Boya council, for example. Munya has a councillor that normally represent their voice in the Boya council.
My 16
has a councillor. Bomaka has a councillor. Because that is how the law gives. Because these are the people that brings the matter to the council for deliberation.
You're right.
And actually speak on behalf of the people in their respective places. But to be very honest with you, these people activities are not known. The people don't know them. And the few that even know them, they don't even go to them to channel their problems. And sometimes to also explain the worries of the people becomes a problem. Most of them are interested more on projects, on taking contracts and executing. It is a contract execution. Like, it comes back to what he talks about investiture. Because if someone who comes from the grassroots is well invested, these people will actually take sensitization. How many municipal councils have been in Munya? And I know the councillor, I will not call his name, that represented me in Munya at the time that I was in Munya. Is of blessed memory. How many times did he actually call the people of Munya for developmental issues to talk to them what the council is doing? Because the councillor has a two-way communication. You take from your town to the council, you take from the council to your town and explain that this is what was discussed. Also, the people also need to be blamed. Like I always say, that a government is a representative of the people. Who a government is who the people are. Council meetings are being held. Do you know that by the law, it is clear that anybody can go to a council, the statutory meeting, the meeting that they talk about the budget. By law, everybody, you can go and attend and ask questions to the mayor. But also, how many mayors also give opportunity for the people to actually come to attend those meetings, which is chaired by the SDO? Because that is where those projects have been announced. That is where executions are announced, that we executed this, we executed that. The budgeting session of the council. Every budgeting session is an open hearing for anybody to come to that place and air their mind. How many councillors do tell their people that there's a budgeting session, let's go and ask questions on this project that I came and told you? How many? Because they cannot, because they're the one executing the project. Because they execute the project, they will not want to sell themselves. I have attended a lot of budgeting meetings in councils, and most of the time, the people who matters don't attend. And you hear figures, and they don't even tell you how it was executed. They don't even tell you what the challenge were.
You're right.
They don't even, so to answer your question, which is on the fact that what has changed with these councillors, and that don't they speak on behalf of their people? Let me tell you, they have simply come and maintain the same system where the councillors have been. Where let us be quiet, get our contracts, go us. Because if you want to speak, they'll not give you contract. You'll be the ones to us. So the one should say over no security.
Okay, creation of the regional assembly is another means to waste taxpayers' money, or the regional assembly is another parasite organization in Cameroon. Bo George is writing from Limbe. Good evening, Mbombo. Kum Oscar watching from Kumba. The program is very educative, Mr. Liu. More grace. Ciao, thank you very much. And good evening, Mr. Liu, for this wonderful topic of the day. Regional assemblies of the Southwest should publish its projects. Good evening, Mr. Liu. The president of the regional Council of the Northwest and Southwest are not CEOs. They take orders from the governors. Jacob writing from Bamenda, Mr. Kum and all your panelists, can you please ask any of your panelists to explain to Cameroonians what is the role of the Regional Assembly in Cameroon? Simon is writing from Kumba. I read them out, please. I will not come back to that. But before the coming of the Regional Assembly, House of Divisional Representatives and House of Chiefs, the people had a notion of how politicians behave. That is, local, administrative, and elected officials, how they behave. Do these new guys now, the members of the House of Divisional Representatives and the House of Chiefs, do they carry themselves differently from how previous politicians did?
Mr. Leo, to be very specific, the regional house to the councillors, regional councillors, are playing the same role the municipal councillors are playing. That is to simply say, two. In fact, somebody put it this way, that since the governor did not have his own council that he's managing, they have created the regional council for the governors to be able to have control, since SDOs have control over municipal councils. So it's the same approach, which simply means that the guys who are councillors, regional councillors, know that what municipal councillors are supposed to be are doing at municipal level is what they are doing at regional level. So they don't carry along an air of responsibility of being able to hold the executive accountable, because at the end of the day, like Elvis mentioned a while ago, do you realize that by the time you become a vocal councillor who is calling the mayor to task, you are termed the enemy of the mayor, because at the end of the day you are looked upon like you are trying to expose the mayor, because the aspect of civic engagement in this country is very worrisome. Because people feel that you are a councillor to work for the mayor. No. One thing which is, yes, it is very true that the mayor is a councillor himself but was voted to become an executive. Once you are voted a councillor, your interest is to defend the population. But what we see on a daily basis is that don't come and put what we say in English Sansan in the mayor's Gary. You should be able to just walk along. And at the end of the day, many of these guys have just become enablers of part of the corruption scheme that continues to go on across many of the councils, because they don't perform their responsibility as board members who are supposed to have oversight of the actions that the various mayors are carrying on. So it goes the same at the level of the region. I spoke with one regional councillor that was 2 months ago. You know what he told me? He is of the ruling CPDM party, but he is known now as an opposition within the party, because when he brings things to the limelight that are supposed to be trashed by the regional council, he said, but must you say it? So we have a situation where people now think that you being loyal to party, you understand, is covering up for evil. And that is why we cannot advance as expected as a community, in as much as the law gives us all the powers of what we are supposed to do, because we are trying to maintain party discipline.
So how do they carry themselves amongst the people? Do they make the people trust them more?
We would have loved to see a different brand of politicians who would have corrected the mistakes of others to be outstanding, because these are the real people, to the grassroots, to the people. The regional council are the ones that are actually the grassroots to the people, who should be that bridge of taking power closer to the people. Because the idea about this was to take power closer to the people. That's the idea about this regional assembly, that okay, let us remove power from the central body and give it back to the people, where the people who have access to power and will be discussing with power.
Greater autonomy.
With greater autonomy, they can manage based on their specificity, and by Jew and by cultural. But the sad reality here is that it has instead gone from iPhone 17, iPhone 15, where our system was at iPhone 15. Now we have moved to iPhone 17 Pro Max, where these people are, see, to have these people actually talk to their people. Because, for example, like we are saying here, the people of Moliko is peaceful, Mr. Liu. Moliko does not have the voices as other areas do, right? But do the people of Moliko know the regional council president? Do they know the regional councillor in that area? Do they even know the divisional representative in that area? Do they even know? They don't even know. Now, this is it. Normally, we're supposed to be seeing these people at the one-on-one basis. They don't know. And it is coming because of investiture. I will still go back to what Mr. Njume raised, the issue about investiture. The day we shall successfully reduce the impact of investiture, we shall have regional councillors that will play. Look like what Senator Belamuki used to do when he was mayor. I'll quote Senator Belamuki. He will go down to the field. Today will be in my 16. He was one of the very few mayors in Cameroon that was constantly with the people. You will see him in my 16 today. You see him in Moya. You see him in Mamu. That is a constant movement. That is what we expect from our regional councillors, or a councillor in a particular location to know and visit these people. Do they? How many times some of their offices are even open?
Are you sure they even have budget for movement?
They will tell you.
But what are they doing with the budget they have? I want to take 2 calls, one from the southwest, one from the northwest. Please, if you're watching and you want to share, I want you to tell me what you know about our regional assembly presidents, and do you really know what is expected of them? If you're watching, you can give a call through the number on your screen. I will permit you. It should be a normal call, not WhatsApp, please. If you are ready to participate, just make that call now, and we listen to you. I want to find out from the people on the ground. Tell us what they know about the regional assemblies. We're talking about the House of Chiefs and the House of Divisional Representatives. Elections took place across Cameroon on Sunday, and a new mandate is going on. Today we were discussing on their capacity to bridge the trust gap, especially for the regions of the southwest and northwest regions. We know we have been living a special status situation. Has anything changed at all as far as the perspective? If things are getting cold, can we say it is to maybe violence has dropped? Can we say it is thanks to the let me take this first caller. Good evening, Mr. Jacob. Hello? Mr. Jacob, good evening. Hello? Good evening. Your volume is too low. Okay, please, if you are ready to call, just call, but make sure you are away from your set so that we can listen to you. Let's look at, okay, there is another caller coming in. Can we say that the crisis is where it is today thanks to the coming of the regional assemblies? Hello? Hello? Yes.
The coming of the regional assembly, in as much as it is one of the recommendations of the major national dialogue, has not been the reason why the atmosphere is the way it is, because we just talked a while ago about the symptoms we continue to condemn of what is taking place in the northwest and southwest region. Is simply because in every crisis situation.
Hello? Hello? Just.
In every crisis situation, there is usually a period of introspection where you are able to count the cost of where is this taking me to? Did I make the right decision? Did I make the wrong decision? And so within the space of time, I believe Southern Cameroonians have been able to make an assessment of themselves to see that the particular route.
They're talking about the people of the northwest and southwest regions.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
The route that they've taken is not what they bargained for. They believe in our culture. We believe in dialogue. We believe in discussing our issues, and that is the route that has been expected long ago. So I believe that the reason why the tensions have come, that is not because the House of Chiefs have been created. We have now the regional house. It's just a matter of.
Hello? 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 Okay, looks like I won't take calls, so there are issues. Hello? 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 Well.
Yeah, I was saying that the creation of the House of Chiefs and the regional house has not been the major factor why we are having the peace that we have. It is within the framework of our culture that we are not violent people, but unfortunately we find ourselves in a situation where we are currently having to take measures in killing one another in what was not very much necessary. But in as much as it has played a bigger role in giving people responsibilities and allowing them to be able to know that, okay, now you have the duties at the level of the region to be able to talk on behalf of the people. Never forget the disconnect that happened during the crisis, when the crisis began, is still there. The aspect of distrust that the people that caused pain to Cameroonians west of the Mongo are still the same people who have not even had the courage to say we are sorry for what we did. You understand? That particular gap is still there, and I'm hoping that a day will come where the people that have made us to be where we are will be able to tell us, please forgive us. We are sorry for what we did, because it is when you are able to take responsibility of your actions, be it positive or negative, that you can be able to enhance the aspect of building trust with the people with whom you are in a relationship with. So, yes, peace is being observed across the board. We still have many of our brothers who have refused to drop their arms, and the presidential election would have served as an opportunity for us to be able to see how these issues can be addressed. Nine years counting, and I'm hoping that the president and the new government will be able to take measures in really looking at the root causes of this crisis and enabling our brothers who are still in the bushes come out of the bushes in an inclusive dialogue wherein we shall be able to find
the president of the republic has prescribed community dialogue as a way to meet what was started in Yaoundé.
You see, Mr. Leo, community dialogue is important. Talking to one another, we should be able to talk with our brothers and sisters, but we need institutional reforms.
Okay.
That will be able to consolidate that what the people fought for is actually what is being done.
But
if that is not done,
institutional reforms, is that not the coming into place of the special status?
Yeah,
is that not part of it?
Yeah, it is part of it, but the issue is like giving selling a rope, the good, and holding the rope. Because if we look at it also, one point in time, I will also sympathize with the regional assemblies because the budget is low, and sometimes the powers tussle still exist, because like we said, who is doing what, where, and how still there, and there's some constraint within this sector,
okay,
which need to be improved upon.
Okay, I'll try this one last call. Hello? Hello? Hello?
So you see that there are some constraints within this sector, but in all fairness, I think that the institutional reforms have been done, and it's a process. Dialogue is a continuous process. There's no a day that you can see that I will end with just dialogue in a single day. We had part of the institutional reform was the creation of reconstruction committee, was part of the institutional reforms. Part of the institutional reform was the special status. Part of the institutional reforms also was the redeployment of teachers of the region of origin. Part of the institutional reform was the creation of a common law bench at the Supreme Court. Part of the institutional reform also was seen in it now. So you have part of it. It's a process. It's a work in progress. And so we cannot just only say that institutional reform. Also, it's a mindset issue. And people need to take engagement. Like I said before, that the president of the regional assemblies and the regional council need to take up their responsibility. Let us instead see that some people let us see other ministries instead fighting them that know you are setting your boundaries. Because if you look at, like I say, if the mayor of blessed memory, may so rest in peace, if Mayor Ekemapati was the president of the regional assembly, I'm telling you, in all fairness,
they will know that there's
a regional assembly. Because people are afraid. Yes, you have to impose yourself. Better people should say that no, you are overdoing it. Look at territorial administration. There had been a minister there before, and the minister there, it was territorial administration and decentralization. Now it is just territorial administration. But see how active and vibrant the current minister is.
Good evening, gentlemen. Following the program, and I must say it is very educative and informative. I have realized that we have a very serious problem with holding our leadership accountable. We have become very comfortable with not seeing and the need to hold leaders accountable. Otia is watching from Northern Shire. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce it very well, but it's writing from England. We are going to move away to talk a little bit about something that is happening. I don't know, is that in Limbe a conference?
Yes, Mr. Liu, the Apostolic Church Cameroon, it's having its 65th International Convention that is coming up at the Limbe Centenary Stadium from the 11th right down to the 15th of...
Okay, we have the poster there.
Yeah, the 14th of December, that is from next week, Thursday. And of course, we'll be beginning in the evening of Thursday as from 5 p.m. And this particular convention is of international magnitude because the Apostolic Church has not only churches across the national territory, but we have churches in America, we have churches in Niger, we have churches in Equatorial Guinea, we have representatives of these of our churches coming together at the Limbe Centenary Stadium in a very, very specific convention, unique in its kind, simply because we will be having a transition of the presidency of the Apostolic Church Cameroon. The current president, Apostle Dr. S.M. Bote, will be handing over to the new president. Of course, as far as the events are concerned, from the arrivals, that's going to be on Tuesday. On Tuesday, the pastors will be arriving to have their pastors' conference, but the Christians will be expected to start arriving on Thursday, and we'll be having segments in the morning from 8 a.m. right up to about 12, where you have the plenary sessions, and then as from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. we'll be having workshops, and these workshops will be customized with children's workshop. You have the youth workshop, you have the women's workshop, and you have the men's workshop segmented within those 4 days. Talking about talking about Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then on Sunday itself is going to be the grand finale. And then we have the evening sessions that are segmented for, that are designed specifically for crusades. And so we are saying that the International Convention is not only for the Apostolic Church Christians alone. We are inviting the general public to join us for this particular spiritual fellowship, and for those who are needing spiritual reawakening, they should make their way out, make their way to the Centenary Stadium. And what is very pivotal, Mr. Leo, and the great televiewers that we have on Prime is the theme of this year's convention. It says, yes,
I'm coming soon.
I'm coming soon, with inspiration drawn from Revelations 22 verse 20. Why is the theme I'm coming soon very important? Because you and I are very much aware, those who are Christians, that we are pilgrims on earth, and Jesus is coming again to be able to give us our rewards on how we spent our life on earth. And when you think about the fact that Jesus is coming soon, there is a consciousness that comes on you that your Lord and Savior will be coming to ask you account. We're talking here today about accountability. We'll be asking you account of how you live the life that he gave you while on earth. And one of the things that scares me, about his coming, and when we all will be judged, is that there are 2 things he's going to tell us. Either well done, good and faithful servant, or get away from me, you workers of iniquity. And so this particular theme is very pivotal for every Christian, even as we are closing the year, to be able to have a thought about the things that we are doing. We are getting closer to the end of the year, and whether we believe it or not, as the year is getting to an end, we are getting to the end of our lives too. So the question is, how are you living your life? And if Jesus was to show up this night within the framework of the rapture next week, are you ready to receive him? Don't forget, for those who are believers, he's coming to rapture a church without spot nor wrinkle.
Okay. So we have seen so many pastors who are going to be preaching. Yes, the preaching is what people want.
Yes.
People want deliverance. They want prophecy. They want what's going to be happening.
Yes, practically, as I said, we're going to have the plenary session, the workshop, and then the evenings are power-packed. Power-packed because certain ministers of the gospel have been designed to minister in the evening because they have power gifts. Because according to the scriptures in 1 Corinthians 12, we are gifted differently. Though there are those who have the power to heal the sick, there are those who have the power to deliver those that are oppressed. So for those who are oppressed by demons, take it a rendezvous, come. Because one thing which is very obvious is that the power of God is going to be made manifest in at the Limbe Centenary Stadium as from the 11th to the 14th. And so those who are, bring the sick, bring those who are blind, bring those who are dumb, bring those who are deaf, because God is still in the business of the miraculous. He is the impossibility specialist. So no matter what bondage you have been in, there is no situation that God cannot address. But above all, it's not just about marketing the miracles, prophecies, the signs and wonders. It's for you to endeavor that your life is right with God, so that by the time Jesus comes, He will be able to meet you in right shape for you to be able to make eternity with Him in heaven.
Okay, so every Christian is expected to be there.
Every Christian is expected. In fact, it's mandatory. It's like our national fellowship. And one of the things which I must let you know, Mr. Liu, is that for the past 8 years, it is mandatory in the Apostolic Church calendar of activities that prayers are offered for Cameroon on every Sunday in terms of our order of worship. And so one of the things that's going to be happening during this international convention is special time set to be able to pray for Cameroon, because the Bible admonishes us that we should pray without ceasing. And so every Christian of the Apostolic Church is invited. If you're not an apostolic, you're also invited. And of course, we are expecting representatives of different churches and administrative authorities to join us for this particular event, so that at the end of the day we can be able to lift up our nation to God in the place of prayer.
Yes, people want to know what has happened in previous conventions to also inspire their faith.
Beautiful. In the previous convention, we have had those who have been seeking for the fruit of the womb receiving the gifts of a child. We have those who have been lame walking. We have those who have been deaf hearing. We have had multiple dimensions of miracles that have occurred. And that is one of the things that is characteristics of the Apostolic Church as a denomination, because we still believe in the miracle working power of God. And so for those that are expecting to see the dimensions of God being demonstrated through His servants, we just simply say, come and see, experience for yourself, so they can be able to go and tell others. One thing which is very obvious is that those who have been selected to be able to minister to the saints during this particular convention, we are having the president of the Apostolic Church Nigeria who is coming. We also have the Reverend Samuel Kopp, who is also expected to come from Switzerland. We have speakers from USA, others from the Swiss mission, and likewise we have speakers within the church itself. It is also very important that the Apostolic Church has a group of persons known as national evangelists who have been set aside, and these national evangelists are most of the ministers that have been identified, to be able to operate in power gifts. And so the church will be making use of them during most of the night sessions, so that they can be able to release the grace that God has endowed them with in being able to reach out to those that are oppressed, those that need salvation, and those that need to be able to experience healing. So I'm telling those who are watching us this moment that come expectant, because God is ready for you. And as I say all the time, your present awaits you in His presence.
So after the 65th convention, we are going to witness the election of a new president.
No, the elections have already been done.
It's been done already?
It's been done already. That is why I said the uniqueness, the passing over of the baton, because according to the decision of the National Council, the president-elect is Apostle John Bokwang, and the national vice president-elect is Apostle Diwota Jacques. And so during this particular convention, we'll be having the passing on of the baton baton from Apostle Dr. S.M. Mbote, who is the national president, and Apostle Dr. M.S. Fonyong, who is the national vice president, passing on the baton of command to the new leadership of the Apostolic Church Cameroon, so that they can be able to continue leading the church for the next 5 years.
Yes, but how is the Apostolic Church waxing in Cameroon today?
The Apostolic Church is waxing stronger. It's represented nationwide, and of course that is why I told you earlier on that the activities of the church are not only limited within the boundaries of Cameroon. We have another field in the USA, another one mission field in Niger, another one in Equatorial Guinea, another one in other African countries, because the church has a mission mindset of taking the gospel to the ends of the world. And so within the framework of the church carrying on its activities, we are represented in every region in the Republic of Cameroon, and it is very important for you to know that, and the general public this moment to know that the Apostolic Church began in Limbe, and that is why we are our headquarters is in Kumba, but we are having the convention in Limbe simply because the authorities of the church deem it necessary. And for those of us that are Limbe based, we are very excited each time we have our children across the national territory come back home to visit the mother of the church, that is the birthplace of the church in Limbe. Okay,
we want to thank you for coming to talk to our televiewers on this special edition of Prema.
Mr. Liu, I must let you know that it's been a while that I've been on set, and received a series of queries from those who used to love the contributions we give on this platform. I tell you, it was not intentional. It's an issue of my schedule that had not permitted me to be on set. And I want to use this opportunity, Mr. Liu, to thank you and ask Cameroonians and those watching to keep praying for you, for the commendable work that you do on Prime Hour on a daily basis, to endeavor that Cameroonians continue to be empowered and enlightened so that they can make informed choices in order to make this nation that is so blessed by God to become an El Dorado and a paradise on earth. That is why our refrain in the anthem says we are the land of promise and the land of glory. It shouldn't just be by mere words, it should be by us taking responsibility in our thoughts, in our words, in our actions, in living right, because only righteousness can exalt a nation, but sin will remain a reproach to any people.
Thank you too, Tamai James.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leo. Thanks to Apostle, civil society advocate, journalist, Jume, for this evening. I just believe that Cameroonians should please contribute to nation building, and the municipal and legislative elections will be in January. Around the February or so, the period of time, please, when the time for registration comes, let us do well to register and make our voices heard, and also hold our leaders accountable at the level of the voting. Because when you go and vote, that's when you are actually telling them that they do not work. So you are putting in other members of the municipal and the regional municipal election. I want to wish a special good evening to the newly elected president and vice president of the Catholic University of Boya Douala campus student government, Leona, and of course to you who is watching me, Leona who is watching me, and also to you, Lorraine, the vice president and president of Douala campus. Congratulations. Alfred, congratulations too, and of course to you, congratulations. Faith, you may have been defeated, but congratulations.
Okay. I just want to say good evening to Mr. Ikome Elvis and Mr. Etia Victor, who have just written to me on WhatsApp telling me they are following us and congratulating us for the wonderful job we've done this evening.
Thank you all for watching, especially to the production team. Stay blessed.